You could be married right now and not even realize it. That's right. Without stepping foot into a courthouse or saying, "I do," you might already be in a legally recognized marriage. Surprised? Well, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into the controversial and often misunderstood world of de facto marriages, commonly known as common law marriages. You might be asking yourself, what exactly is a de facto marriage? Could it impact me and my partner? And what are the legal and financial implications if we're not officially married? Stick around because we're going to break it all down in simple terms that just might change how you think about your relationship. So, what exactly is a de facto marriage? In simplest terms, it's when two people live together and represent themselves as a married couple without ever having a formal ceremony. It's Latin for, in fact, a marriage in reality, but not officially on paper. And while it might sound like something out of a romantic movie, this legal status comes with real-world consequences. In the United States, for example, only a handful of states officially recognize de facto marriages. Texas, Colorado, and a few others still acknowledge common law marriages if certain conditions are met. But even if your state doesn't officially recognize it, the rules may surprise you. Domestic partnerships, civil unions. There's a web of legal terms that blur the lines between living together and being married. But here's where things get really interesting. Many couples assume that because they've been living together for years, they have the same rights as married couples. But that assumption can lead to huge legal and financial surprises, especially when it comes to things like inheritance, property rights, or even custody of children. If you're thinking I've been living with my partner for years, so we're basically married, think again. Depending on where you live, what you do together as a couple, and even how long you've been living together, you might not have the legal protections you think you do. And for same-sex couples, things can get even more complicated. To qualify as a de facto marriage, certain conditions must be met, and these vary widely depending on where you live. But the basics usually include living together for a significant period, presenting yourselves as married to friends and family, sharing finances, and, most importantly, both partners must consent to the partnership. You can't just stumble into a common law marriage. Both of you have to be legally eligible, meaning you're not already married to someone else, and you're of legal age to marry. Here's where the rules get tricky. In some places, like certain European countries, Canada, and Australia, de facto, marriages are more widely recognized. But the rules change from place to place, making it essential to know your local laws. And it's not just about legal consent. Other factors like how long you've been together, the financial arrangement between you, and even the way you represent yourselves to the public can make or break whether your relationship qualifies as a common law marriage. Okay, let's talk about same-sex couples. In many regions, de facto marriages have traditionally been limited to heterosexual couples, leaving same-sex partners without the same legal recognition. However, with the global wave of LGBTQ+ rights movements, the tide is changing. Countries like Canada and Australia now extend de facto recognition to same-sex relationships. But even so, it's important to check your local laws to understand what rights you have. So, what's the benefit of being in a de facto marriage? Well, in many cases, the same laws that apply to legal marriages also apply to de facto marriages. You may be eligible for things like shared property rights, child custody, and even alimony. But, and this is a big one, you may not qualify for things like health insurance, tax benefits, or survivor's rights in case your partner passes away. For example, you could be living together for 10 years, and if your partner dies without a will, you may find yourself fighting their family for inheritance. Or worse, denied survivor benefits because you're not technically married in the eyes of the law. If a de facto marriage comes with similar legal rights as a formal marriage, then guess what? You may also need a formal divorce to end the relationship. Yep, even without the white dress and vows. Depending on where you live, the legal process to dissolve a de facto marriage can be just as complex, if not more, than a traditional divorce. That's why it's critical to understand what you're getting into. De facto, marriages are serious legal commitments. The courts will expect both partners to divide assets, settle custody disputes, and handle alimony just like a formally married couple would. So, what's the solution if you're not sure whether you're in a de facto marriage or what rights you have? Start by having a candid conversation with your partner. Make sure you're both on the same page about your relationship's legal status. Then, consult a legal professional who can help you navigate the specific laws in your jurisdiction. You might even consider formalizing the relationship with a simple legal agreement to protect yourselves in the future. And here's the good news. You don't need to get married in the traditional sense to safeguard your rights. There are legal tools available to ensure your property, children, and finances are protected. Stick around, because in our next video, we'll dive deep into how you can protect yourself whether you're married or not. Let me know in the comments. Did you know about de facto marriages before this video? Have you or someone you know been in one? And don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more content on relationships, law, and life hacks.